Well, Jack, I'm afraid no fancy racetrack for me this week, and no exotic location involving mountains or beaches because, well, I don't have a sport bike to test and I don't have a tourer to test. What I do have is this. It's Honda's NC700X, and believe it or not, they call it a bit of a jack of all trades. Their official term, it's a crossover motorcycle, whatever that's supposed to mean. Primarily, though, it's designed to commute. It's designed for this, the cityscape, which is why I'm starting here. And believe it or not, for 65,000 rand only, this incredibly good-looking motorcycle could be yours. Question is it worth 65 grand? Well, we'll find out if there's 65,000 rands of performance in the package during the course of the day. But I can already safely say that it looks like it's worth much, much more than that. Most of the NC700's natural competition is more expensive, considerably so in some cases, and not, to me at least, quite so pretty. Good looks will only get you so far, though. This is a bike that, above all else, needs to be as easy to use as it is easy on the wallet. Ease of use is helped by keeping a bike's weight low down, because that makes it feel lighter and more manageable than it actually is. Well, this is the sort of thing that the NC700 really excels at, just slowly trawling around, and it's because of this low centre of gravity. It's a very simple design, spined steel cradle-y diamond-shaped frame. I mean, it's old-fashioned technology, nothing special. But with the centre of gravity nice and low, it's incredibly agile. The fuel injection system is pretty good as well. You often find that when you're trawling around at slow speed, you get this kind of jerkiness on a lot of bikes, but this, it doesn't matter how low the revs are, the fueling response is always bang on. Also helps that the Honda is, in fact, I'm trying to think of a Honda bike that didn't have a good gearbox, but this one is par for the course, which means it does what it's asked for it. Yes, fellow biker. Is he gaining on me? You know what, I've been riding it for quite a while now, and some pretty dodgy road services, very crowded traffic. I can't find anything wrong with it, to be honest. If I sound surprised, it's because I am. Cheap bikes are normally cheap to look at and even cheaper to the touch. But the closer you get to the NC700, the better it looks. This is a quality piece of kit for a bike designed to be a workhorse. The parallel twin-cylinder motor is new and is essentially half of the engine from Honda's Jazz hatchback. That means a low red line, but realistically achievable consumption figures of 25 k's per litre. Out with the fuel and in with a helmet-sized lockable storage compartment, and the 14 litres of fuel now reside under the pillion seat. Instrumentation is quite sparse, but the basics are covered, including a digital bar that shows you the RPM. Cost-cutting measures include the loss of a front brake disc, but the one that remains is still pretty big, and so this Honda stops plenty fast enough. Riding and enjoying the NC700 means a total rethink of how you expect a bike engine to behave. Forget the usual endless search for revs and instead choose a higher gear and relax. Once you're in the groove, it's fun and fast enough for Gauteng's mean streets. This may be an inexpensive, affordable bike that Honda says is fun for doing everything, but let's be honest here, it's about being affordable. It's a bonus that the thing looks so good. But even more than that, this really is a superb commuter. Even crawling along now, I'm not using any clutch, second gear, and it just doesn't judder or shake. Like I say, very, very usable, very user-friendly. Less user-friendly are some of Joburg's lovely bus drivers. Retreat is often the only sensible option. Time then for the NC700 to face a new challenge. Really needs to be able to deal with highways, and so that's exactly where I'm going at the minute. If I can just get across here. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for blocking the junction, thanks, man. Well, the answer is that on the motorway, it's equally at home, really. You've got to take it for what it is. Remember, this is a parallel twin with under 700 cc's, which is making, as I said, somewhere in the region of 45 horses, probably on the back wheel. No vibration. And this little screen, which doesn't look much, is actually pretty impressive. Yeah, I can see what Honda are on about. You really could tour on this.
Comfort, on the whole, is pretty good. But if I'm nitpicking, then the seat is probably a bit on the thin side for really long journeys.
So, Honda built this as some kind of crossover motorcycle, which means, in theory, you'd think it should do a little bit of off-road, but it doesn't. So forget that aspect of it, crossover or not. This is a road bike. Primarily, it's a commuter. We've proved today that it will do city streets, commuting, highways, and a little bit of country. So I asked myself a question at the beginning of this test. Would it be worth the 65 grand that they're asking for it? Absolute no-brainer. Go out, spend all your money. It will be well worth it. Yes?
Great test, Matt, but kind of forgetting one small detail. Honda already make a 700. It's called the Transalp. It's a great commuter, and this one's got a little ace up its sleeve. Can go off-road too.
Yeah, all right, smart Alec. I was trying to ignore it for the sake of the programme, but since you brought it up, I suggest you get your helmet on, go for a test. You've got 90 seconds. Persuade me that I should think about that instead of the brand new one.
I'm on it.
90 seconds? I think it's so good I can make a case for the Transalp in 60. Well, just look at it. It's a great-looking adventure bike, and it can do anything the NC700 can do, and more. The Transalp might be 20 grand more expensive, but it does feel like money well spent. The engine is stronger, easily beating the NC700 in a drag race, thanks to its 670cc V-twin that makes 10% more power than the inline twin. It's also got the same sort of riding position, which makes it really good in commuting. The suspension's got more travel, which means a way more comfortable ride on the back road, as well as it's got a 17.5 litre tank, which makes it really useful on long-range rides. This also makes it a better tour on the road, with the added bonus that you can also get some off-road exploring in. Enough said really. Anything the NC700 can do, the Transalp can do better.